Hello everyone, in this video we'll look at an area in cybersecurity called the GRC, which stands for Governance, Risk, and Compliance. It's widely said to be a less technical area in cybersecurity. However, in my opinion, it will be good to have some technical knowledge to help you thrive in this area. Depending on the job role and the organization you find yourself, you might need to have information in all these three areas of GRC. However, in some instances, you might only need to have knowledge in one of these three. And in a GRC role, you can expect the documentation and review of policies, frameworks, and standards for the organization, as well as helping in preparing and conducting IT audits. Furthermore, you can expect to collaborate with other employees in different units of an organization, and your technical knowledge in several areas of an organization might come in handy. So in the next series of videos, we'll look at what GRC is, some of the popular frameworks and standards that you should be familiar with. We'll look at some of the IT certifications to get you started in this area, as well as some of the job roles you can look out for. And we'll finish off by looking at some of the home labs you can document to show some hands-on experience in this area of IT, as well as how to build your portfolio and position yourself for a role in GRC. So let's get started by trying to understand what GRC is. So governance in GRC looks at aligning IT operations towards business objectives through policies, frameworks, and procedures. So when you talk about governance, you're looking at ensuring that all your cyber efforts are streamlined and are supporting business objectives. And when it comes to governance, there's a need for policies, frameworks, and procedures to be approved by leadership or management, and to ensure that there are periodic reviews. When it comes to risk, it involves identifying, assessing, and mitigating risk associated with IT assets. So in risk management, you should ensure that you're able to identify your risk, rate your risk, document them, and put in controls to ensure that they are mitigated. And compliance involves the adherence to relevant laws, regulations, and industry standards. So depending on the organization or country you find yourself in, you might have to adhere to certain regulations, industry standards, or laws. So let's touch on a few framework standards and regulations that you should be familiar with in GRC. And first on the list is NIST. NIST has a number of frameworks and standards that you can research on and familiarize yourself with when it comes to cybersecurity. So there's a cybersecurity framework, there's a privacy framework, there's a risk management framework. There's also COBIT. So COBIT has to do with IT governance. It is a very popular standard and framework for IT governance that you should be aware of. There's also ISO. ISO is very popular. There are several standards in ISO. There's the Information Security Management System. That's the ISO 27001. There's the extension, which is the Privacy Information Management System, ISO 27701. There's the 29100, which deals with privacy. There's also the 22301, which deals with Business Continuity Management Systems. There's also PCI DSS, which deals with adherence to standards and regulations when it comes to payment card industry, when it comes to any organization that deals or processes cardholder data. You should be adhering to PCI DSS. There's also SOC 2. There is also the GDPR from the EU, which has to do with data privacy. There's also the HIPAA, which has to do with those in the health industry. Finally, there might be country-specific regulations that you might have to adhere to. So in Ghana, we have the Data Protection Act and the Cybersecurity Act. So depending on the country you find yourself, you must be abreast with some of the regulations that are country-specific. Finally, let's touch on some certifications that can get you started. There's the CC, Certified in Cybersecurity by ISC2. It will give you a general knowledge of IT and cybersecurity to get you started. There is also the SC900, Security Compliance and Identity Fundamentals from Microsoft to help you get started. There's the Security Plus, there's the Information Protection Administrator, there's the PCB, ISO 27001 Auditor, and there's the CISA, Certified Information Systems Auditor. In subsequent videos, we'll try to look at some of these standards, frameworks, and regulations into detail, as well as some of these IT certifications and look at what they entail. And we will also try to perform some job searches and look at what may come up. So thank you for watching and see you in the next video.